Leaders, hook lengths and knots, obviously very important when you're bass fishing, whether you're fishing artificials or whether you're fishing metal jigs, surface lures, whatever you're fishing with, live baits even. Very important. Fluorocarbon, one word, that's all you need to know. I've used fluorocarbon for the last 15 years. It's absolutely superb stuff. There's loads and loads of brands out there on the market. P-Line, Asso, very good fluorocarbons. I use both of those, and I also use Sakuma. They've got some fantastic fluorocarbons out there, and of course Varivas, Japanese, extremely good quality. I always carry a range, more than I've got on the table here actually, from £14, that's about as light as I go, all the way up to £30 when I'm fishing over wrecks and reefs and broken ground. On the boat I like to use £30 just for that bit of extra added security. You know, you're not going to get smashed up if you hook a big fish and it runs you across some rough ground. When it comes to leader knots, I developed my own leader knot years ago over in the Channel Islands. I was just mucking about one day on the boat, the fishing was pretty slow and I thought I'd have a little bit of a play, and it's a knot that I've used like I say ever since that day. I've not used anything else, no need to. I've taught it to a lot of my friends, and a lot of people over the years have said it's never let them down either. So I'm going to show you how to tie the Dave Barham braid to leader knot. This is my leader material. I'm using coloured mono just so it shows up for the purpose of this video, because if I was using £20 fluorocarbon, which is what I would normally use for a leader, you wouldn't be able to see it. So very simply, you form a loop like so, and then pass the tag end through twice. So you basically end up with a loop with two turns on it like so. Then what you want to do is pinch it and just twist it into a figure of 8. So you've got the top half loop there and the bottom half. That's all it is. There's your loop, twist into a figure of 8 and pinch that tight. Now what you want to do is bring your braid in, your main line. You can see where that tag end enters the top of the loop, that's the same direction. So you go in the same way, pinch it, and then push the tag end of your main line through the bottom of the loop, so both bits of line are exiting at the same direction, like so. Okay. Now what you want to do is grab the tag end of the leader and the leader main body itself, and pull that tight, and that gives you quite a nice tight little knot at the top there. Then it's a case of putting in a little bit of your main line through and laying it alongside the braid. Bring the tag end back round and underneath to form a loop. So what I've got there is I've got the two bits of line together, and I've got myself a loop underneath like so. Then what you do, once you've got your loop, is you pass this tag end through. Now I like to do this round and round and round. I like to do this at least 7 times. Okay, that's 3. It's quite fiddly to do with thin lines like this. Once you've tied it a few times, it's quite easy to do. Okay, so I'm just going to do 4 just for the purpose of this video. Like I say, if you put 7 turns in there, it's much easier. Pull that up tight like so, slide the two down together, pull it all up tight, and you'll see it twist like that and lock itself up really tight. Like I say, that was just with 4 turns and it still works, but I like to put 7 in just for security. Scissors, you can cut this off as tight as you like. It's quite important to cut your actual leader as tight and as close as you can. But there you have it, and that's an absolutely superb knot. As you can see, it's really quite tiny. Let's give it a spin there. Goes through your guides, no problem, and extremely strong. Like I say, I've never had one of these go on me in all the years that I've been fishing with it. So that was the Dave Barham braid to leader knot. Give that a try. Like I say, it's not going to let you down. It's never let me down. Now I'm going to talk about going on to fishing a fixed lead rig. In this particular section, this particular video, I was fishing in the English Channel for cod, but it's absolutely superb when you're fishing for bass. You can use it with any lure. Check it out, see what you think. Right, I'm out summer cod fishing today. We're fishing a variety of different lures. I'm fishing with a new red gill, one of the new red gill pilchard shads. Real nice bits of kit, these. Just want to show you this rig. It's pretty simple. My mate Paul Kilpatrick, skipper of CI2 up in Whitby, showed me this. They fish a lot of rough ground. We're actually fishing over a wreck today, but all you need to do is tie a link swivel to the end of your main line, which is what I've done there. Clip your lead on. Now, I don't know if you can see that, my trace is actually coming off the bottom eye of the swivel. The trace is only about 4.5 foot long, down to the shad. What you want to do with this is just gently flick it away from the boat. So what's going to happen is your lead's going to hit the water, your shad's going to hit the water behind the lead, and then as the lead goes down, it drags that down behind it. It's not going to tangle at all. We're just going to drop this down, hopefully catch a cod. Like I say, just a gentle flick away, down it goes. It's a real good method to use. All you've got on there is one swivel. I'm going to show you now how to tie another knot. I know I've already said that I just use the Dave Barham leader to braid knot, but I sometimes use this when I'm fishing in a boat, fishing quite deep water, especially when I'm fishing over heavy ground and I'm fishing heavier lines. It's called the Spider Hitch. It's similar to, not similar, it's like the Bimini twist, but it takes seconds to tie. Whereas a Bimini will take you ages to tie, a Spider Hitch takes literally seconds, as I'm going to show you now. And what it does is it allows you to have a long length of doubled line if you ever come across a situation where you need it. But it's just another knot, another leader knot that I've been using over the years, and it hasn't let me down either. So I thought I'd just let you into that and show it to you. So this is the end of my braid line, my main line. This is 20-pound breaking strain, but you can do this knot with any breaking strain line really, up to sort of 60-70 pounds main line. What you want to do is just pull about 1.5 to 2 foot of line off through your finger like that. Double it over, so there's the tag end. Bring the tag end up and just pinch it. Okay, so what you've got there is some doubled line coming through. There's the tag end, and that's to my rod there, or to my reel. Pinch them like that, and this is where you use your finger. You get your doubled line and you bring it over to form a loop like that. So there's the top of the line there, just pinching that between my thumb and finger like that. Then all you do is you wrap this tag end, start there, round your finger 4 or 5 times. Still got my loop that I've been pinching. There's the tag end, which is the end of the doubled line. Just pull that through the loop and then pull those loops off your finger like that. Pull it up. You don't need to pull it up really tight, just finger tight like that, and there you go. That's it. Down here, if I bring this across, there's my loop in the end of the doubled line. There's the knot. Here's my tag end, and I'm just going to cut that off. And there's my main line to my reel. So that's the first part of the Spider Hitch. There's my Spider Hitch. Here's my doubled line. I'm just going to pull that through. So I've got about 1 inch at the end. Pinch that tight, and there's my loop in the end of the doubled line. In comes the leader material. You go up through the loop and then pinch it like so, just to hold it all in place. You keep that loop open. Now what you want to do is you want to pull about 6 inches of line through and then literally wrap it around the doubled line of the loop 5 or 6 times. 6, that'll do. Now this is the tricky part. You need to pinch that at the top there, still holding this, and then bring the tag end back over itself, back over the twist that you've just made, another 5 or 6 times, like so. Then you can let go of that top bit. Now what you want to do is, where this line exits the loop, or should I say where it enters the loop when you first put it in, you bring your tag end and make sure it goes through and exits at the same angle. Okay, it should be through there, like that. There we go. So you've got 5 wraps up the line, 5 wraps back down, and your tag end and entry point of your line are both exactly the same. Now what you want to do is, while you're gripping the tag end and the main line, slowly pull the loop up till you get to this point. A little bit of saliva on there just to moisten it down. Now the trick is to get a really good grip on the left hand side here of that braided loop. Slide your fingers down and let go of the tag and just hold the leader itself, and then pull the whole thing up. As you can see, it's all coiling round and round and round and round each other, and then boom. The more you pull it, the more it will twist, and then it will stop like it has done there. So that's all nice and tight, really tight. That's not going to come undone. Now what you've got to do, get the scissors, trim the tag end off as close as you can, and there you go, there you have it. Really, really small, compact knot. And the coils in there give you a little bit of stretch. Pull along there. There's your spider hitch at the top of your braid. You've got a loop here. Okay, so it's, when you're using monoline, this loop in between the 2 knots actually acts as a shock absorber. When you're using braid, it doesn't act as a shock absorber at all, obviously, because there's no stretch in braid. But I've found this to be a really good, really strong knot over the years, from when I'm fishing in deeper water and heavy ground. And believe it or not, I've actually had one part of this loop snap, and this other part here has held. All the knots have held. It's just, yeah, it's just a really good knot to learn, and good fun to tie as well.